Hey everyone, this is Seth with Food Challenge News. Welcome back to another podcast interview. Today I'm joined by Hendrika, the punk gardener. Hey Hendrika, how are you doing today?
Pretty alright. It's Friday morning, about 8-ish a.m. here in Brisbane.
Well, happy Friday. It's still Thursday for me, but I'm going to say it anyway. Happy Friday.
Thank you. Happy Thursday to you.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank you for coming on the podcast today. And I'd like to get started by your early beginnings and how you got into the world of food challenges and also competitive eating.
Yes, actually, well, the early days. Well, I won my first eating contest, which is a chili eating contest in 2017 at an event called Murphy's Creek Chili Festival. And during that time, I think there were only 4 contestants because the event was during that day it was heavy rain, and nonetheless, I went to take part, and I was the only Asian person there. So then, we ate a few different chilies. The hottest was habanero, and then the last one was what was it? Yeah, a big bullhorn chili, and I won that because they said that was speed eating. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I've eaten fast all the time, so I just munched through it and I won. So I was like, oh, this is fun. I like being on stage. Everyone's like cheering me on and stuff like that. And yeah, so that was the first event contest I won. The first food challenge I attempted was actually kind of like an Italian 1-meter pizza. I always knew I could eat quite a fair bit of food, but didn't know how much. I failed that challenge just because I did not finish that pizza. I was short of 4 slices out of I think 16 squares. Yeah, and that was I think 2000 and I can't remember now. I think 2018, I think. But then also in 2018, I joined a pancake eating contest at Pancake Manor, which was a 1-hour all-you-can-eat pancake eating contest. I thought, oh well, let's give it a try. And yeah, I came in third. Mimi came in second. So we were at that contest. We didn't know each other at that time. And then Chad Froman Jones was at the contest as well. So he was like, oh, you guys are pretty good, at this sport. Why don't you come and join the league? And I'm like, oh yeah, okay. That's how I got involved in competitive eating because, of Chad. Actually, roll back maybe a few months before the pancake eating contest, there was some chili eating contest or spicy eating contest, and I thought I could defend my title, and I thought I could, give it a try again to see if I could, place. And I realized that, well, other people who are non-Asian are eating like way spicier than me. And this is why, I mean, in Australia, some people have this misconception that Asians can eat a lot of spice or are very good with spice, but actually it is not. It is, sometimes, people of all sorts, yeah, a lot of people, it's actually just, how you are with spice. So, so I lost. I couldn't, get placed for the 2 different chili eating or spicy eating contests, and therefore I decided, no, let's try something to do with spicy chicken wings. So that sounds quite fun. So then there was something like a chicken wing eating contest, which was spicy, because it was something like a prerequisite to and not to a someone of the contest, and I won that. I was like, hey, I could do this. So that's how I knew I was more confident as a speed eater, and rather than spice tolerance eater, and also not sure about the capacity at the time, but I knew that I like to eat fast because I've always eaten fast. Friends around me when I was growing up in like vocational school and family was like, why are you eating so fast? I'm like, I don't know, I just eat so fast. It wasn't something that I intended to do it. It's just part of me. So I guess this talent of eating fast has finally a place to go. So there you have it.
And what was your reaction when you won that chicken wing eating contest?
Oh, I loved it. I was like, yes, I could do this. I could, I love chicken wing. I was just like so excited. I was so happy. I was like, yes, I want to do more. I want to push myself and see, how much more chicken wings I can take, and how spicy the chicken wings I can go. To see if there's more contests that was coming up.
So after you won that first one, did you employ any kind of training technique or routine or anything like that?
I just kept eating more chili. And also the next one was I started watching videos on YouTube, of course, about how to eat chicken wing fast. So I actually looked around and I found Adam, aka Beard Meats Food. He shared his technique. And then who else was? Oh yes, Matt Stoney. He also shared his technique. So I began practicing that, and then so I practiced those techniques to get myself into familiarity of it. And of course, then I started to try and train to eat as many as I could in one sitting. So yeah, so I remember starting capacity training with chicken wings. I think I started with 20 or 25, and then gradually I stretched the numbers up.
And then you would eventually start a YouTube channel called Punk Gardener.
Actually, Punk Gardener is my personal branding, like my own nickname, because I've combined my passion for punk rock and the whole concept of punk DIY with my trade as a gardener. So I'm also a trained, a qualified horticulturist, and my business is in landscape work. So, the whole idea of why I started my business was because, I didn't like how when I was employed, what I was told to do. Like I didn't felt that the methods that I was asked to do was as efficient, and I really wanted to come out and be an artist. So it was a concept of rebellion against what some of I was told to do, because I wanted the freedom. And punk is really a lot about voicing your opinion. Basically, it's punk DIY because nobody wants to do it for you. Go do it yourself. That's my concept of punk DIY and what punk rock it means to me. It's expressing myself. And I express myself through my yard work as well. I said I'm a qualified horticulturist. I've trained here in Brisbane, Australia. Got a degree, so I was trained in production horticulture, and yeah, and I also trained in orchid growing. I understudied a lot of orchid growers, breeders actually in Singapore, and so to me, I've started developing my own concepts that I have proven to people that it works, but they didn't like what I was doing. So I eventually told myself I'm gonna risk it and just try, doing what I know I felt right, and it was truly about rebellion. So the whole thing about combining punk and the gardener, that's who I am inside. And then the logo, I guess you've seen it, it's basically a lot like how inspired by Black Lives Matter, that fist. And I was holding on to the hedger blade because I I really enjoy hedge pruning a lot. And to me, that blade is like, how artists using knives or chainsaws to carve out their art. And I love hedge art. So I just put all of that together into one concept. So the whole idea of Punk Garden as a on YouTube was for me to use the concept of me in this sport of competitive eating, to just raise more interest in my profession as a gardener. I thought, it is my personal branding. So I put my personal branding, who I am, on that channel. So that channel's focused on my sport of competitive eating.
And let's fast forward actually to your first challenge. You ate the entire vegetarian menu, and it says it was uploaded 5 years ago. Could you tell us what restaurant that was at and how that experience was?
That was actually at my friend's restaurant. That's with Mimi. So that was more like I did it because I wanted to see what Zermatt did as well. Other people, other YouTubers have been doing, like, to eat the entire restaurant menu. So that was a bit tough. I didn't have the capacity that I have today, but I still wanted to push myself and also use it to give publicity to my friend's restaurant. So yeah, it was interesting. It was my first so-called menu challenge video for a restaurant. So yeah.
And then eventually you would join the Competitive Eating League in Australia. Could you tell me about your experience and how you got involved with them and what that means to you?
Joining the league was not like any formal, like, oh, I got to sign a contract or something like that. I just showed up at the events every time that there was a sanctioned league event. So, I got to know Billy, who runs the league, and got to know him. And it's just, every time there was something here in Brisbane, I would just sign up and show up. and got to know him better and just discussed about, that I'm very interested in joining the league and getting a rank. So pretty much was, just your consistent participation in the league event. And that's how I joined. What it meant to me was, I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed being in the league a lot. We're not competing against each other. We are friends. So it's a little bit like a concept of if you don't call it family, you can, but I just call it camaraderie. Like comrades. And but we still we contact each other, call each other when we can, and meet for meals and stuff like that. I'm honored to have joined the league. I'm honored to be part of the league, and have a rank as well. So it's. I didn't expect the journey would lead me to where I am today, but it's been awesome.
What's been one of your most difficult contests that you've done with them?
Oh, the most difficult one. Actually, surprisingly, there are two. Actually, the most difficult one at the moment I can think of was eating a 3.5 kilo burger for as long as you can for half an hour at Meatstock. That was the first Meatstock that was held here in Queensland, in Toowoomba. Yeah, so the barbecue company had a 3.5 kilo challenge, and I guess they wanted to try to see, who can finish it or how much the rest of us eaters can do. And that was like a really tough slog. That was even tougher than doing pancakes, because I had to be on stage for half an hour. It wasn't like, sheer adrenaline. It was pretty much like trying to get momentum and in my head, I was like, okay, what can I eat to try and reduce the weight of the food? Because the final result was based on weight.
So you were up on stage in front of an audience doing that?
Yes, that's right. In terms of a contest with the league, yes, a big audience.
Was that a lot of pressure for you?
No, actually, I just hang out there and ate slowly and ask, the other guys was like, okay, so what should we eat? We started talking to each other because it got really slow. So no, there was no pressure. Or after a while, we just got a bit bored.
And so let's talk YouTube for a minute. So it says you've joined on June 25th, 2019. You have over 600 subscribers, 82 videos, and over 140,000 views. So tell me if you ever thought that your YouTube channel would get to this point, and also what that means to you to have that many subscribers and that many videos and that amount of views.
To me, I'm very honored with all the views. Actually, I'm also very honored for actually a lot of it. I also have to thank James for allowing me to use the footage of the one that he ate, the pizza with Chad on my channel. That really did help. To me, it's just an honor to have a lot of people watching my food content. I would love to have it monetized. I would love to, be able to do more. But currently, with the support I get from, fans of my channel, and it really is an honor to have the statistics that I have. I will be posting more during winter. Just that at the moment, I'm quite occupied with family and also my business in landscape because it was summer. We just turned down autumn, and for you guys in the US, it's spring. It's the opposite, you see. So for me, I look forward to posting more videos soon.
Great. Talk a little bit about outside of YouTube. What are some of your hobbies? Because I know you said about your landscaping business and a few other things, but what are some other things you like to do, like when you're not filming or eating competitively?
My other passion actually is in orchid growing. Orchids, the orchid flower, has been a lifelong interest since I think 18, and that was what inspired me to come into the plant industries of horticulture. And so I spend actually a lot of my time now focusing as much as I can, besides landscape work, which is my bread and butter business, into orchids. I actually have an orchid channel. I have an orchid Facebook page called the Orchid History Project. The YouTube channel is actually called Once Upon an Orchid. So the concept of that is to actually, for me, is I want to preserve the orchid heritage of Singapore and in Queensland, because the Queensland national emblem, or not the national emblem, but the Queensland state emblem is actually an orchid called the Cooktown orchid. So that is actually outside of food and business. This is actually my other business that I enjoy doing a lot. It actually takes up most of my time when I'm not doing the other two.
Yeah, sounds like you stay pretty busy.
Very. I enjoy it because I have committed myself down to working with plants for the rest of my life. And it has always been a dream to follow my mentors in Singapore who are orchid breeders, because it is pretty much like you're creating a legacy not only for yourself, you can also create a legacy for others who, if they want to name a plant after themselves or their business or whatever, it's pretty much a legacy creation. So yeah, that's my passion.
Yeah, very well said. And what are some of your favorite foods and least favorite foods, I should ask?
Mm. Favorite food is always chicken wings. I love chicken wings. I love to go to an all-you-can-eat chicken wing buffet. And then what else? I love noodles. I love ramen. I love big bowls of ramen. I love big bowls of noodles. I train with that at home as often as I can. I weigh out all the food and I train with that, making noodle soups. And then probably that second and third, I guess would be probably pizza. So, pizzas are just fun things to eat. And with that, especially with pizza, it's really fun to add a lot of hot sauce on it. It tastes really good with hot sauce. So that's how I also train spiciness and maintain my spice tolerance. Is I'm actually always, if I can, not always, but as often as I can, I'm trying to push capacity and spice tolerance. It's because it is a very hard combination to train. My body um, kind of like shuts down, like doesn't want to take on any more food when there's too much chili in my body. So I'm trying to push that. So yeah. The least favorite food, I don't know. I don't have something that I don't like to eat. Being Chinese, we pretty much eat anything. Maybe one vegetable. I'm not a big fan of eating bitter melon. Are you familiar with that vegetable?
Which vegetable?
Bitter gourd.
No, I don't believe I am. Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, this veggie has a bitter taste, and yeah, not a fan of it. But it's supposed to be very good for you. It is good for you as a form of reduce like blood pressure and cholesterol and kind of a cleansing thing. Good some of the things that are good for you aren't always very good tasting.
And so you mentioned going to buffets and stuff like that. Has anyone ever came over and told you have to leave because you've eaten too much? Because I've always wondered about that. You see that on YouTube, you see the buffets, and it always makes me wonder: has anyone ever been just kicked out of an all-you-can-eat buffet for eating too much?
For me here in Brisbane, actually, no. They find it intriguing, and actually there are other people who have kind of eaten more than me. So I mean, the place that I go and train chicken wing, the owner finds it always amusing when I come in, because I train there now. He's always says, "You're incredible. I don't know how you can do it, but you're just incredible." That's for that one. And I like to support places where they support the sport of me eating a lot. Yeah, here in Brisbane, a lot of the restaurants are small businesses, and through that, I also want to give them publicity, of my visit through my Instagram stories. I put a a very good Google review on it. So no, I haven't been kicked out. I probably don't eat as much as some of the other YouTubers. My capacity is not that huge. Quantitatively, I mean, I think with solids is about 2.7. If I did a noodle soup once, I hit I think 2.9 kilos. So that's pretty decent, I think. I still could have continued eating, but I don't know, brain just kind of stopped. And I'm like, nah, I had enough. So yeah, I've never been asked to leave yet.
And what was the name of that buffet that you were just mentioning that you left the Google review for?
Oh, that one is called the La La Land Cafe. It's a Korean little restaurant that has a all-you-can-eat chicken wing buffet. And he's one of I would say the best Korean chicken wing buffet that I have tried so far here in Brisbane.
How long have they been in business?
I don't know. I have no idea. Probably pretty long to have survived COVID and everything.
All right, and moving on to future goals. So, what are your plans for your YouTube channel? And also, how do you feel about the current food challenge landscape on YouTube? Do you think it is getting more popular? Do you think it's getting less popular, and why?
Future goals would be, well, for me personally, in the sport, I want to travel. I would like to travel either out of town a little bit more to do food challenge. If there's contests out of town, I hope I could like fly interstate to compete, but I don't know about that yet. But definitely Singapore is my next destination to build content. I've always dreamed of eating an entire table of breakfast item that I grew up eating as a young person living in Singapore. So that would be something I want to do for the YouTube channel. Would be amazing if I could get that monetized whenever. Like I said, this competitive eating is pretty much a fun thing that, to me, it complements my work as a landscaper, because I pretty much only eat one meal a day. I go out and work hard in the yard. I come home and just eat all I want. So and then I train. So it balances out the calories that I take in, and it's all about balance. So that's pretty much for the YouTube channel and yeah, what I want to do in this sport for the coming year and the future, I guess.
And then what do you think of the current food challenge landscape on YouTube?
Honestly, everyone has their own ideas and concepts and stuff like that. So honestly, I don't have an opinion, because everyone wants, has their own ideas, and let the creative ideas flow. So yeah.
And before we wrap it up, what is one thing you'd like to say to anyone listening right now?
Well, thank you for listening to Food Challenge News and supporting Seth's podcast. And thank you, Seth, for inviting me on. And support, hope you can follow my channel if you like my content. And if you are in Australia and all that, come and try. If you're listening to this in Australia and wondered about the sport, just give it a try. Who knows? Like for me, I gave it a try and I love it. So just give anything a try, even this sport. This is a real sport. It's not. I mean, some people take it for a laugh, like James, how he started. I was like, oh yeah, just do something silly and have some fun, which is true. Just have some fun. This sport is about fun. And then when you decide, oh yeah, this is for me, then take it on seriously. So yeah, it's all about fun. So have fun. If you love to eat, if you love to eat fast, spicy a lot, who knows? This sport might be just the thing for you. And I welcome you into this community.
It's very well said, and want to thank you again, Hendrika, for coming on the podcast. We'll have all the links for Hendrika the Punk Gardener in the description, and thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you.